Space Hero, February. What is today? I don't even know what today is. Like I don't know what day it is. It's early February, and I am here. The show is technically broadcasting from my phone because I'm incapable of better planning. I'm actually at the AEW show. I got invited to attend AEW here in Ontario because I was doing a bunch of interviews in LA. What's the Crime 101 premiere? And it's BD, by the way. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm very flustered. It's been a chaotic day. I actually ended up walking into this AEW show 5 minutes ago, and guess what? It ends in like one or ended five. I don't even know what's going on. But Jenna and Aaron are going to be doing the heavy lifting today, and I want to thank them. And I launched the show from my phone here, and I hope there's no issues with the broadcast because we're dedicated to this weekly releasing an episode every week. We've only missed one since we promised that. And anyway, hi, Jenna's here. Hey everyone, we got Aaron Perrine.
What's up, BD?
Oh, not a whole lot. I got to put my other earphone in apparently because I'm not hearing Jenna through my
I was
left
muted.
ear. I don't know why.
So
Oh, Jenna was muted. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel better. It's not just me then. All right. This Jenna, I haven't even had a chance to see the rundown, which I know you put together. What is the first thing in the rundown today?
Spider-Noir, which I know people are like, where is Jamie? Jamie had a pre-existing commitment. She did tell us last week that she wouldn't be able to be on this episode. And then the timing did not work out perfectly that she's not here to talk Spider-Noir. She's very sad about it.
Can I just point out that Spider-Noir looks amazing though?
It does.
And I have long been the person on this show who says I don't believe this show is real. I thought Spider-Noir was a fraud. It was a fake. We were being duped. It didn't exist. And now after these images and that story in Esquire from Anthony Bresnikan, I'm like, oh, Spider-Noir is real.
It didn't feel real for the longest time. It's like it's the first of the TV shows that they're doing. Like there was so much stacked against it. I was like, if this happens, great. But it didn't feel real. And now it is real and it does look great.
How long has it been since the video?
Did you guys
like? Was it like was he on top of a car? Like is that 2 years ago?
Yeah. The
that
set
was
video.
A while. That was a while. This is my current video.
Audio listeners, I'm so sorry.
There's live wrestling happening. Yeah, I'm trying my best, guys. But yeah, wait, what is this? We have F1 sequel officially in the works at Apple, by the way. Hannah Basso just commented. Is that real?
I have no idea.
Are they going to call it F2?
That would be funny.
All right. Well, I'm going to share my 2 cents. I'm going to share my 2 cents on Spider-Noir, and then I'm going to let you guys take over and make the show a lot more peaceful without me trying to make this work from my phone. BD is the definition of chaos. Yeah, literally. Today has been insane. I had a late start today. We did 4 interviews, and everything got set back, and it was just terrible. It kind of sucked. I don't even know what's going on. And anyway, Spider-Noir looks good, and I've just derailed the whole show just for the sake of showing up and being here. I'm going to let you guys talk about it, and it'll be less chaotic without me, I think. So Jenna, Aaron, do you guys mind taking it from here?
Sure. I'm glad we don't have to have the debate of watching it in color or black and white, because I saw your tweet about
watching in color. Watching in color.
No.
I'm watching in color.
We can have this argument next week once the trailer drops, and Jamie and I can gang up on you and argue that that's the wrong answer. But
I will always admit if I'm wrong. If the trailer changes my mind, I'm watching in color. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm watching in color.
All right.
I saw a Logan trailer in black and white. Guess what? I watched that movie in color. I stand by my decision.
That's different, though. That's very different. Yeah. But all right,
all right,
have
guys.
fun.
All right, guys. Have fun. See you in a bit.
All right. All right. Well, this is quite a show.
This is quite a show. Dear God.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay.
I'm sure getting this show off the ground, like having us streaming definitely is helping. And just, I don't know, I'm sure sleep will help, which is not a thing he has a lot of just in general.
That's true. That's really,
Yeah.
really true.
Yeah. So for more details on Spider-Noir, if you are kind of wondering why we teed it up with that conversation, like he said, there's a massive article in Esquire kind of breaking down the show and a bunch of first look photos. A trailer is dropping on Thursday. The article confirmed that Nick Cage is playing Ben Reilly and not Peter Parker, but that it is the same one that we met in Spider-Verse. And he described his performance as, quote, 70% Humphrey Bogart and 30% Bugs Bunny, which I am very here for that just alone. I had heard rumors forever ago about the Ben Reilly of it all, and I kind of was waiting to see if that was actually the direction that they're going with. What do you think of that?
It is an interesting sort of swing because I can't remember the dialogue from the first Spider-Verse movie, even though I've seen it like 19 times.
Mhm.
Like, does he say he mentions his Uncle Ben, but he doesn't say what his name actually is in
Yeah.
his universe, right?
I don't think so.
So it's an interesting swing. It's fun. It could be a pseudonym. Of course, the internet was gonna freak out when his name wasn't Peter. As long as he's not the Peter from Madam Web, I think we're all fine.
What that would be a wild turn of events if somehow we went from the 2000s to 1930s and like down pat. That would be wild. I think it's just a formality, but it is funny of like the first time we technically get a live action Ben Reilly and it's in a context that is absolutely nothing like actual Ben Reilly. Like that's the first time that name is being said in live action and it's with Spider-Man Noir and we can't even call him Spider-Man Noir. So it's interesting, but like BD said, I think those photos definitely got me a lot more excited.
Oh yeah, I mean, all of if nothing else, this project is gonna look great.
Yes.
Like the color grading Tumblr slash threads profiles where they do like the color melange of what a show looks like is gonna look amazing. And then they're gonna do it in gray and get all the likes from that too.
Yep. As we kind of teased a little bit earlier, it's 8 episodes long. It's releasing at some point in the spring. Probably by the time you're listening to this in podcast form, we might have an official date. And it can be watched in both black and white and color, which I kind of hate that they're doing that cop out. Like I can understand the logic here, but like I wanted to commit to just an entirely in black and white. But I also know I am of the kind of people who like I watched so many old movies in black and white. Like I'm used to it, but I recognize a lot of people aren't. But what do you think about it?
I mean, listen, for those of you who don't know, Jenna and them keep TCM in business. Like
Yes, we do.
they're the reason that it got saved. But Ben Minkowitz came to Jenna and them and was like, please help me save this thing. It is interesting because I would love to know just in our chat probably has a higher concentration of people in general. I don't know many people who watched Werewolf by Night in color.
Mm-hmm.
I
know
don't
I
know
didn't.
too many. Yeah, I watched it in black and white. And then when I rewatched it, I watched it in black and white again.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what it shakes out. I know why they're afraid because they think people will like zoom out of it if it's not, available in color. But I mean, the Wonder Man episode that everybody won't shut up about is in black and white. I think you can get away with it. The Watchmen episode we all keep talking about is in black and white as well. So, an interesting thing. I mean, also I think not to mention like Zach's stuff. I know a bunch of people who were like, I will not watch this in color. I am watching this in black and white as it was ordained by the heavens. So, yeah.
I also could see it being a thing of like it adds to the minutes viewed because it's technically like double the amount of episodes that you're putting out at the same time. So I could understand the logic in that from a streaming perspective. But yeah, I'm going to be very curious once this show drops, like what people gravitate towards and if it like is a completely different experience. I personally would like start with black and white and like maybe then rewatch certain scenes in color because I know like half of the fun of WandaVision, like the first episode was seeing like what color did they have to dye Paul Bettany to get that like exact shade in black and white. Like that's fun to see. But I would rather like see the show in black and white first because that kind of fits the vibe a little bit more.
I miss those assembleds so bad.
Me too.
I learned so much about how they make stuff from those specials.
Yeah. But yeah, so then the cast of Spider-Noir also includes Jack Houston as Sandman, Brendan Gleeson as Silvermane, Lamorne Morris as Robbie Robertson, and Lee Jung Lee as Cat Hardy, which is a 1930s take on Felicia Hardy. As someone who wanted the Silver and Black movie to happen so badly, I like still am mourning the loss of that Thelma and Louise style movie that could have had the two of them. I'm happy we're getting her, but it's a very interesting naming scheme. As Chris, my husband, pointed out, this would be like having Catwoman and calling her Cat Kyle. It's like the naming scheme is very interesting. But like I'm excited to see her in a 1930s context. Like, what do you think of this supporting cast?
I mean, like all of the images, if you haven't seen the images from the profile, go out and find them. It looks really, really fun. Like all of the stylization, they're leaning all the way into the, the film noir of it all. And she looks fantastic and not even in costume. Like, it's like, is she supposed to be like a singer, like a club singer? Yeah. And it looks dynamite. I am excited to see the rest of this. I am laughing. This is, we're looking down the barrel of another one of these where I think all of us had this pretty low and it could grade out to be in the top half. We'd all be like, huh, wow, Spider-Noir. Who knew?
It's very vindicating, and I know if Jamie was here, she would be like shouting from the rooftops of like, I told you guys like the second that this was announced that. But it's nice to kind of be at this point where we're like genuinely excited for a film noir show set in the 30s with this crop of characters. Like that is cool to see like this fandom be excited for.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Also, have you seen the chat?
Yeah, the chat is being very nice right now. BD kind of asked for W's in the chat for how well I'm hosting the show. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So just keeping it going on the Marvel front. It's still kind of a light week for news just in general, but of course there's always doomsday quotes to talk about. Halle Berry's still on a press tour. So of course we can talk about that. And even on that press tour, this was a whole other separate story, but it seemed like Chris Hemsworth might have spoiled Mark Ruffalo being in Doomsday based on his facial expression during one video they did. But on the Halle Berry front, to Variety, she said, quote, "Storm's not there. I promise you. You all think I'm being coy and I'm being silly, but I'm not there." Do you believe her?
Man, this is hard because she's going so hard on I'm not there. And if he's gonna make a face about the other things that got said in this interview, why would he not say it about why would he not make a face when she does that too? So I don't know. I find it hard to believe you're gonna do mad realistic X-Men and then Storm's just not gonna be there. But the lady says she ain't. So if we get Andrew Garfielded, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be disappointed in you, girl. But I am choosing to believe her for right now. Ain't no way she's not in Secret Wars, though. That's not a thing.
That's what I was going to say. Secret Wars feels like a guarantee for her. And even beyond that, I believe her in the sense of they only have so many dump trucks of money for this movie. Like they have to devote some dump trucks to Secret Wars itself. So if it was a thing where timing wise and just story wise, it made more sense to like let her have her moment in Secret Wars. Like if she just like emerges in a battle scene, like in the white costume, like with her full powers, like everyone in that theater is going to lose their mind. So like, I think that moment is worth her not being in Doomsday if she really isn't.
Longtime listeners will know Jamie's gonna punch me out. I'm gonna miss the last third of the movie because he'll knock me straight out. There's a bang if Halle Berry comes from some wreckage and all that white.
If Rogue's in there too, then you're gone. Like you are not going to remember the rest of the night at that point.
Jenna, since you're doing such a job hosting this show, could you go ahead and host my funeral too?
Yeah, sure. I'll start writing your eulogy. I'll just prepare. Yeah, I like it is still such a discrepancy that none of the ex-women from this cast are seemingly in this movie, even though Chris Claremont believes that Famke Janssen's in it. We'll see, but I would not be surprised if we're saving them intentionally for Secret Wars. I think that would be worth it.
I think it would be really good too.
Yeah.
Just Chris Claremont as the ghost that hovers over this is very funny. I just want to say
I have to bring it up because it is one of those things that it's like any excuse to bring that. Like, I don't know. It's just a very funny wrinkle in the doomsday speculation. If you told me at the start of all of this that would be part of it, I wouldn't have believed you. So
yeah, absolutely.
And then rounding it out on the Marvel front, also kind of Secret Wars related, Caleb McLaughlin of Stranger Things wants to play Miles Morales. To Variety, he said, quote, "I would love to play Miles. I think Miles represents something bigger than myself. It represents something bigger than most people. Also, being from New York and then just seeing the Spider-Verse story, I just feel it's really, really connected. And I feel like a lot of people understand what that means." I know he's been fan cast since like the second Stranger Things started, and I can totally see why he's still being asked these questions. It almost feels like the kind of thing where if you're asked that, like, are you really going to say no? Like, no, in any context? It's like, no, I don't want to become a household name and be associated with like one of the biggest characters of this millennia. Like, of course he's going to say yes, but he has a very good reason to say yes.
My steak is too juicy. My lobster's too buttery.
Yeah.
A comment. You know what I mean? he really seems like he's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. I know that a lot of the fandom wants to be Afro-Latin actor, and I don't know, like, sure, fine. I at a time I believed that this is where he was going to debut. I thought that would for sure be what happened, but I'm not so sure now. I don't know what's going on. I feel stranger about the end of that movie and whatever is going to happen with both of these than I have in a long time. So, Caleb, the Brinks truck will come from somewhere else. Probably not this.
There are plenty of options. Static Shock is still there. Like there's so many different options. Yeah. With Miles, like you said, I feel like the sandwich bit in Secret Wars in the comics is just too good to not emulate in some way here. Like it would be great if they found a way to do that, but I'm sure it's the Sony custody battle of it all, and like what they're doing with Spider-Verse, I'm sure has a huge impact on that. I also like at this point, if Miles is a complete unknown actor, like if it is someone who is like in 9th grade right now and is going to become Miles, like I'm totally on board with that. Like go with a fresh face. I feel like you could easily do that here.
Yeah, I mean, like the funny thing is that's going to be like a star-making turn, right? Yeah. Like it's not like you have to have like an established name. Everyone's going to see the costume and be like, "Holy crap, it's finally happening, guys!" Yeah. It's not a drill, so you don't need to necessarily go that route if you don't want to. And judging by some of the casting speculation around the X-Men and stuff, I think that's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, look at Iman Vellani. Like we had no idea who she was. We all had like one headshot of her when she was cast, and now it's like everyone loves her to death. So I feel like you could easily do something similar with Miles here and it would totally work.
Your version of like Sarah Finn as like the weird like Division III college football coach that's just in some middle school gym, like, yeah, there we go. That's gonna be our quarterback a decade from now. Like this is gonna work.
But it's just looking at like Letterboxd reviews and being like, what did you think of this MCU movie? That means you're in. Anything else on the Marvel front?
No, we can move over to DC.
Awesome. Yeah, this is so weird running the show in duos, by the way. I'm glad the chat is enjoying this. Like, this is so just funny being in this context. Obviously, other shows and other lifetimes have used this format, but we haven't had to do this over here. So this is definitely a fun experience. So on the DC front, the biggest news of the week is that Clayface has moved its release date. It moved from September 11th. Yes, really, that was the date it was set for, to October 23rd. So a little bit later in spooky season. I made a video on my channel about this when it dropped. I think that it is a great idea on multiple levels. Like the original September date was booked kind of before the rest of the box office season had really kind of taken shape. And there are not a lot of horror movies by late October. Like everything will have probably been out of theaters then. So like you can have this running on Halloween and people can be able to go see it on Halloween. And I think that alone is a really smart move. Plus, also, if Lanterns debuts kind of around when Peacemaker did at like the end of August, it won't run, or it'll run until the middle probably of October. And so then this now gives Clayface like a wide window after that. So I'm all for it. What do you think?
I think that's pretty smart. I think the Lanterns and Clayface overlap is the real thing that like is a real win here too, because it gives like both projects a chance to breathe. Also, rip and upsetness to whoever is trying to open up on that Halloween weekend. Like, you know, some other horror project is
there
had
honestly
that circle.
There's nothing else like currently scheduled. There was like a James Wan produced horror movie for like October 9th. And then everything else in October, everything else spooky related is like mid-September or early October. Like the rest of October is like, here's a Colleen Hoover movie. Here's like a random sequel to something. Like it's so wild.
That Colin Hoover movie is doing $350 million and making a gajillion times its budget. But all the other things, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Really?
Yeah.
I feel like the last couple Halloween seasons have been jam-packed with just like, here's 8 million different weird little indie horror movies that all somehow make 5 times their budget. And then everybody's like, you know what? That's great, but we're not doing that. It's going to be massive. And I think that this season will change. It's going to help. It's just going to help.
That is also part of it of like October is more consistent like weather wise of like it feels more like fall when you are going to a movie on October 23rd, whereas like I can go in the first 2 weeks of September and it can still feel like it's 90 degrees outside. Like it's definitely more seasonal if you're later in the process.
September is still definitely season of I'm going to the movie theaters to sit in air conditioning for 2
Yes.
hours
Yes.
territory than late October is for sure.
Yeah, 1000%. And like you said, I'm also just glad that this isn't happening at the same time as Lanterns, because I was dreading the inevitable think pieces of like, what does Clayface mean for the last few episodes of Lanterns, or vice versa, if it was released in the middle, when they are not even remotely on the same plane. Like, yes, they are set in the same universe, but I doubt that they're going to have anything to do with each other in that way. So I'm glad they can all just stand on their own as projects, and we don't have that weird overlap.
Never say that Jenna doesn't have optimism. Like somebody is right now writing, like, write that down, write that down.
Yeah, as you say that probably is very true. So speaking of optimism, and a thing that made people very optimistic on Sunday, so if you watched the Puppy Bowl, which I definitely do every year, it is so delightful, even though there's always the heartbreak of this puppy that you loved has since passed away since they recorded it. But they showed a TV spot for Supergirl, and it showed Krypto is a puppy, and he is so cute. I also made a video about this because it is kind of a completely different origin for Krypto. Like in the comics, Krypto is always Clark's dog, usually as like his family dog from when he was an infant, or he just is like a random dog that comes into his life. Like we've never had it be a thing where as a baby he met Kara and then their relationship kind of spun out for there. But I think in the context of this universe and in the context of this story, it makes perfect sense, and I am very here for it. And he just looks so cute. He's adorable.
Somehow they made him cuter, which is wild. I don't understand how they did it. Congrats to James Gunn. Also, I mean, listen, this is the most successful Puppy Bowl partnership I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
They should just have him come back and be like, do you have anything you have, like a TikTok you want to promote? Just go ahead and throw that up here and like raise the profile of our event even more, because we've never covered the Puppy Bowl as much as we have in the James Gunn era of things. I thought the sort of new origin for Krypto is really interesting too, because you're right. Like usually he's like mom and pa's dog, like, you know, like he's like on the farm with them and stuff, and like all Superboy and Legion and all the other fun stuff. And this time it's like, no, that's like Kara's dog, like straight up, just like in Superman, like comes in and he's just a agent of chaos. His little collar being too big for him and stuff. I'm like, he keeps finding new ways. If I worked in Warner Brothers product, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be like, a whole new series of plushes for us to sell. Excellent.
They dropped merch today that is just that poster of Krypto, of baby Krypto, just on like a t-shirt, on a hoodie, etc. So like, you are not wrong. Like if there's a Funko Pop of Krypto as a puppy, I would not rule that out at all. I feel like there's going to be a lot of merch there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this partnership, like we'll get to the Super Bowl of it all by the end of the show, but like I'm so glad that they keep doing this partnership. I think it works out so well. I'm very curious how we like do it again next year for Man of Tomorrow. I feel like there are ways to just keep doing it. It's also just an excuse to like keep putting Krypto in things. Like I think it works out well, and it gives people like a thing to talk about early enough in the day before the overstimulation that is the actual Super Bowl. So I think it's worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And then also in Supergirl news, Junkie XL is confirmed to be composing the score, and he is replacing Ramin Djawadi. So this is according to the latest press release that was released alongside the Puppy Bowl spot. And people have a lot of feelings about this. Obviously, Junkie did some of Zack Snyder's DC scores. He's done like Mad Max Fury Road. Like he has a great filmography in and of itself, but people are kind of like, wow, he's jumping over to this new universe. What do you think about that?
I mean, like, okay, like it is kind of like a thing where it pops up in other places doing this sort of superhero work, this very magnificent, bombastic stuff, but it works, right?
Yeah.
It really works. And I would also say you need Kara's movie to sound a little bit different than Clark's movie does. And this is a stylistic departure from the Superman score that I think will benefit making it feel like a different movie, but in the same sort of realm. Because, I mean, let's keep it real. You're going to get Junkie XL doing the James, as I call it, the James Gunn Superman theme somehow remixed in there while she's beating the crap out of somebody in third act. That's going to rip. I like Junkie XL because like, my past is like a goofy little club kid. I'm like, yeah, sounds great. Sounds like Sparks. That's great. I have no bad memories of that at all because I have none of them. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting. Although I will say I was curious what Ramin was gonna do with that. I was like, what is this gonna sound like? It would be really interesting. So
Yeah, the clip that was in the poster, like when they had like the motion poster back in December, like the clip of music that was with that, I think sounded really good. But like you said, I think that this could work. I feel like Junkie kind of lends himself to that like alien techno kind of like space club vibe that the movie has. So
Absolutely.
I could see this being a banger. Like either way, I'm gonna buy the soundtrack on vinyl. Like who are we kidding? Like anyone could be doing the score, and I would definitely have it on heavy rotation. But I'm very curious to see what he does here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the whole movie, we've only seen the little first trailer, like the first big trailer. We still got another big one before we get here. There's so much time. Like, I'm excited to see more.
Me too. And then finally on the DC front, Isabella Merced is confirmed to be returning as Hot Girl in Man of Tomorrow, according to a report from Deadline. This was confirming some other movie that she's been cast in. This was just kind of like buried below the lead. I'm not surprised. Like I was just kind of waiting for this to be officially confirmed because especially when the movie first got announced, her social media, like her Instagram stories were very leaning to the belief that she was in this movie. I'm just excited that she's coming back. I feel like the storyline of Superman and kind of where things were left with her and like they've teased in the behind the scenes material, like there are ramifications for her having killed Garkos. And so now that we have Salvation, now that we have all of this stuff going on, I'm not surprised at all that this is where we're continuing it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very funny that like Deadline reports because you're right. Every single one of these actors ran to Instagram after the movie got announced to be like, "Yo, see y'all at the movies." And I was like, so all of you, most of you, a good percentage, are going to be in this thing. Excellent. So it's fun. I wanted more of her the most out of all the Justice Gang because I'm like, I will see Mr. Terrific again. Like obviously the fan response, but I was like, we didn't get enough. I wanted to get a little bit more of Hot Girl in there. So it's good to hear that. Also, Jenna,
we do have a $2 super chat from Monty G. I cannot put the super chat on screen because I do not have those abilities, but thank you for the $2. Really appreciate it. I see the chat was like struggling to do super chats given the fact that this is hosted on BD's phone. So thank you for that. That is very much appreciated.
We will save it in this little pocket universe we operate in right now.
Absolutely. But yeah, I just like it's exciting to have confirmation. Like you said, like we're seeing Guy Gardner by the end of this year. Like we're going to see him in Lanterns. Like we know Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho. There will be a time and place where we'll see them again. Like I'm excited with Hot Girl that we will get to see her sooner than later. Like that's very encouraging. Plus, like there's costume possibilities. Like she could get an entirely new costume. That's always very exciting. I know BD's like there's another new hot toy I could possibly buy. Like that alone has him very hyped. But yeah, all right. And then finally, it was the Super Bowl, as we kind of mentioned this past Sunday. And we kind of teased this on last week's show with like the reports from the trades of what trailers may or may not be there. There weren't a lot of trailers really in the grand scheme of things. We got it feels wrong calling it a trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu because it was more a Budweiser commercial just in Star Wars. I mean, that's literally what they were parodying. It was the Clydesdale stuff. Like it was at the point where Chris got up and went to like go get another like drink. And then I was like, you're missing Star Wars. And he's like, really? I thought that was a commercial. And because it was also relatively early in the game. I thought that was a very weird choice to go with, especially because it was like almost 2 hours before the actual Budweiser spot. So that was very, very wide berth there. They even had to like put out statements explaining why they went with this and not like an actual TV spot, which I'm like, that's also an interesting choice. What did you think of that?
So you have to put out something for this movie because the movie comes out way sooner than we all think.
Yeah.
And I guess nostalgia wise, I am of the age where you see the Clydesdale commercial and you do the Leo point at the screen. But I was expecting like a real live trailer, like a real trailer for this movie other than the first one that they put out. And that did not happen. And I'm just like, that is curious. But I also am not worried about this because of how it falls in the calendar. I'm like, it's still a Star Wars movie. And we haven't had one in forever. Like, who knows what tomorrow may bring, much less months from now. I'm sure that there will be some more momentum behind this. But it was a curious decision because Super Bowl trailer is expensive. Like, even that clip they showed is mad expensive. Like, you didn't get, to me, you didn't get your money's worth. That's just me.
That is $8 to $10 million to be spending on a thing that kind of left people confused. Like that's what's wild to me. And it's also the fact that like that first teaser was in September for this movie, and it had no diegetic lines of dialogue. It was literally just voiceover and vibes. Like we do not know the plot of this movie. We have not heard Sigourney Weaver or any other character speak in this entire footage. And so it's crazy like how close we are to this movie's release, and we still don't have like an actual trailer yet. But like as the chat is pointing out, like Hoppers comes out in a couple weeks, it could very easily have a trailer then, but like kind of pick up the pace here. Like people definitely want to see something.
I mean, that is so interesting. Like, because the absence of trailers is the story of this Super Bowl. Because without all the trailers, all we did was sit there and go, why are you trying to sell me this randomness, this terrible stuff? Yeah. I came here thinking it was like, remember 2.5 weeks ago, we were like, this will be Spider-Man, this will be Doomsday.
I knew it wouldn't be.
And it's not at all. None of it.
No, it made it kind of a bummer because it was this thing, like you said, it was just like, all right, what AI nonsense is being sold to me now? Or what thing is going to run for 28 seconds and then reveal what it is actually for and then make me feel gross? Like, I know everyone was mad at the Backstreet Boys commercial and what it was actually for. So it's like that sucked as the experience because it made, and like also a lot of the trailers, as someone who watches football every week, a lot of the trailers weren't new or a lot of the commercials weren't new. It was stuff that you see pretty regularly anyway. And it's like you spent 8 to 10 million on something that, like, I know this is a wider audience, but like it didn't have the novelty that you usually have with Super Bowl trailers or commercials.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was wild, but like there were other trailers-ish TV spots. There was Disclosure Day, there was Scream, Project Hail Mary had one. It was cute seeing Lord and Miller literally at the game watching the full trailer on their phones. Like that was like the priorities were in order, and I thought that was very endearing. And then I'm so sad that Jamie also isn't here. Oh, do we have BD back? We do have BD back.
I didn't mean to come back.
Do you have any thoughts on the Super Bowl trailers?
I actually missed the past 2 minutes because I was trying to figure out how to plug in an electric car, and I had to call. Driving an electric car and saving the planet is not easy work, guys. Thoughts on the Super Bowl trailers? Yeah. Mando and Grogu teaser is getting overhated. That was really good for the context in which it was released, though we do need a trailer sooner than later. It's a little too close to the Mandalorian and Grogu hitting theaters to not have more context for this movie. I didn't watch Project Hail Mary. I refuse to watch any more Project Hail Mary trailers because the first one already showed me too much. So it's the opposite problem than what Mando and Grogu is facing. And I wish there had been a Marvel Disney Plus spot. I kind of thought that they would at least have it with all the stuff it's coming. They would do that. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much what stands out to me. The Supergirl stuff was fun. I missed the last 5 minutes, what you guys said, and I'm going to turn this back off. But I do think we need a Mando and Grogu trailer pretty badly. Yeah. And I think we'll get it probably in the next few weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for popping in.
Gosh, you guys are, this is fun to listen to.
Awesome.
Thank you, B.
All right, bye again, BD. Oh, we got another super chat. Thank you, Titan29. People wanted a Doomsday trailer at the Super Bowl, but I think they'll do more of the teasers like ahead of Avatar 3, the next batch coming with Mando. I hope we don't do the weekly drop again. I hope we just get an actual teaser at this point. I like, at least if you're going to do it again, don't make it theatrical exclusive. Like, I don't like seeing these in either AI deepfakes or in potato quality from someone's phone. Like, if you're going to put it out, actually put it out at this point. I get it that you were a year ahead of the date and you wanted to do something clever, but like give us actual proper marketing campaign at a certain point.
I think it's got to be coming, but they're just waiting. Like it's like all of these trailers we're talking about are like further out like than we are used to. Like if this had been in Twitter when Twitter actually functioned correctly, the discourse every day would be, where is Spider-Man? Get me pictures of Spider-Man. But it
already is. It's at the point where like I'm starting to wonder if Spider-Man is going to get delayed and we just aren't being told that yet, because it is so close to when that movie might theoretically come out and we have nothing. Like we had a kind of Crab Rangoon, Ocean Spray, things of that nature drop before the show. Of something that might have spoiled something, but maybe we'll get a trailer sooner than later for that. Maybe we won't. Like, it is getting kind of suspicious, but like that's a Sony problem. That is not Disney. Like, people keep thinking it's the same marketing arms doing it, and it like absolutely is not. So I think that's also what's making it more confusing, is like Doomsday did its 4 teasers and then radio silence, and we still have nothing for Spider-Man.
I mean, you've got trades posting casting information of what the characters, people who have been cast are before we have a scrap of footage of this movie. Like the last thing we saw was Destin Daniel Cretton posting behind the scenes stuff with Tom with that layout, like after they finished filming, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you're right. The Crab Rangoons, things of that nature, merch stuff did make me feel better. I'm like, oh, that trailer's coming. There's no way. As soon as this stuff starts leaking out of wherever they make the merch at, you can expect a clip.
It's always Zazzle or one of those websites that's usually at the scene of the crime. It is funny this week of like, we need the Spider-Man trailer, and it's like the best we can do is Spider-Noir. Like you will get that this week, and then just hope for brand new day sooner than later. But yeah, I am so sad that Jamie's not here, because on the Super Bowl trailer front, I wanted to hear her rant about the Cliff Booth Netflix trailer. I know she's nervous, was kind of her post on social media about it, just given the movie itself. I wish again that like they had spent the $8 to $10 million actually selling people on what it is, because like the censoring things was very cute of like doing like the film scratches over like the middle fingers and the cigars and stuff, but like they didn't have a title, they didn't have any of the creative team, they didn't have a release date, they just had the Netflix bug at the end, and I was like, that feels like a waste of $10 million. Like the majority of the people watching this are going to think it's an ad for something that's just shot really well first and foremost, and then they're going to be like, oh, that's for something that isn't even out yet, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, how many people said, what is this to me? Like privately, they were like, is this a thing? Is this new? And I'm like, well, kind of, yes, it's a thing after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And they're like, oh, that I like that movie, blah, blah, blah. But I would have never guessed that from this thing. And I was like, that is an issue. That's kind of a problem. I don't know. It won't matter because none of that stuff ever ends up completely mattering in that way. And I'm sure it's going to be great. Like you said, it's shot amazing. I don't know what's in the water, but the cinematographers all had a meeting, and now everything looks like fire.
I'm glad.
I don't know how it happened.
I still subscribe to the tweets that are like, we need gaffers, we need electricians, like stop going to finance school, because it's like so much lighting is just impossible to look at in movies and TV, and I feel like we're starting to kind of turn the corner back around. But even when you have like Yorgos doing Super Bowl spots, like the Emma Stone spot was directed by Yorgos, and like you could tell when you looked at it. Like I can understand watching the Cliff Booth stuff at first and being like, what is this? Is this a movie? Is this selling me something? What company is this for? Like it was needlessly confusing, and again, you're spending $8 to $10 million to just confuse people.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not that far away from it, Jenna. You can buy an IMAX camera at the consumer level now. Someone's going to shoot some of these ads at IMAX at some point. That will happen before the decade's over.
Ryan Coogler, please. That would be fun. I don't care what for. Like I'm sure people would be lining up to get him to shoot a Super Bowl commercial. Listen, that would be amazing.
He sell a soda commercial shot in IMAX.
Oh, he should do it for the like AMC, like as a chain, because he loves the soda so much. Because that quote is just rattling around in my brain that the AMC freestyle got to him. Because I get it, I love it to death. And then one more thing on the Super Bowl trailer front, again, of like spending money and not really showing things. The Minions 3 trailer was oddly the best one to me, because the TV spot was one thing. It like got your attention by just being a minion. And then the title was revealed and it was Minions and Monsters. And I was like, okay, what kind of monsters are we talking about here? Let me go pull up the trailer online. And I do. And the plot of the movie is that they're in the 1920s making an old Hollywood monster movie, and they need real monsters. And so they perform dark magic and summon like a little talking Cthulhu who like leads them through a magical land to go get more monsters. And I'm like, this looks fun as hell. Like I'm also like, H.P. Lovecraft would hate tiny cartoon talking Cthulhu. So for that alone, I am very here for this. But I'm like, way to bury the lead. Like some of that footage should have been in the Super Bowl spot. And I feel like a lot more people would be like, what is this? I'm in. Because like the second that I actually watched it, I was like, all right, unfortunately, I am a grown woman who is going to be there day one for a Minions movie, because this looks like a lot of fun.
Jenna in a suit.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Just in the front row, ready to go.
Man.
It's funny. The Minions movies are so weird, because the last one was like a really decent like superhero movie. And then this one being a Universal Monsters kind of send up thing. I'm just like, are the Minions just going to do the classics for the next
I'm here for it.
5 years?
It's very like Abbott and Costello of just like, what are you going to go into next? Or like Ernest. Like I always used to joke that the Venom movies are like Ernest, of like Venom goes to camp. It's like the Minions can go anywhere, and it like thematically seems to make sense. So I'm here for it. You're going to teach a generation of kids about 1930s monster movies, and like that alone, I'm very happy for.
I keep telling y'all, the TCM is just Jenna. Like it's not anything
free.
else.
No, there are dozens of us. We all are very happy. When Bugs Bunny was announced as the star of the month for this month, everyone was very happy about that. So the TCM fandom is small but mighty. But yeah, I think, was there anything else on the Super Bowl front? Obviously, Bad Bunny crushed it. I saw you kind of joining the chorus of people asking for El Muerto to get re-greenlit.
Yo, and then people who do not watch this show catching that and not realizing the slight sarcasm in my voice was hilarious. Getting explained to like, that was garbage. All of these Sony movies are blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't get the show. You don't watch the show. Come watch some episodes of Face Hero and listen to us. Listen to Jamie Jirac off of a single margarita talk about El Muerto and Morbius, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, at this point it's like, what the hell? Like if we did re-greenlight that again and like have Sony try again, like I would be here for it just as a vehicle for Bad Bunny, because the halftime show was incredible, and I feel like that proved that people would show up in droves, even for a character who has 3 comic appearances.
I mean, like this, like I'm trying to explain to people. I'm like, yeah, like he has 3 comic book appearances. So literally, it just be Bad Bunny, do whatever you want, and I'm like, I'm here for it. Let's go. Like, sure.
It's just a superhero wrestling movie that just happens to be set in the Marvel universe. Like that's literally it. I remember when that movie got announced at CinemaCon, Chris read all of El Muerto's appearances in one sitting. Like he was like, screw it, I'm gonna look these up, read these now. And 45 minutes later or less, he was like, I'm done. Like I'm now an El Muerto expert, because that was the extent of his comic history. So there's a lot you could have gone with, but like it would have been fun. And I think like now we've proven that there definitely would be an audience for it.
I'm dying at him walking in the room like Megamind, like I have figured it out. I've solved El Muerto.
Basically, I was like on the desk still writing while he like pops back in and is like, all right, I'm an expert. I'm like, all right, you do you. But yeah, anything else on the Super Bowl front?
I think that's about it, except for that game was trash. So like we didn't get I was man,
the outcome was good, but the game itself was not.
Woo. I've worked some stinkers too, and I was like, man, this is not great. I know some people in that truck are stressed. We need some offense. And we're not getting it from only Project Hail Mary and a Clydesdale ad parody. And who was it who did the shooting star press off of that thing during that commercial where they're all in all green? Who was that?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. It's like both of them are just like a fake infomercial, and he's like, "Watch this," and he gets up there and does like,
was it Benson Boone?
Yes,
Ben Stiller.
And Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah.
He dies off that thing. And I was like, that's the most offense we've seen all first half. I'm upset.
When Bad Bunny categorically walked more yardage than the entire Patriots, like that was not good. Yeah, it was something else. All of the memes of like the Scooby-Doo mask, and you take off the mask and it's Thursday night football or like preseason football. It's like that was kind of the energy of the game. But you said, it was still all worth it. All right, we have another super chat from Monty G. He has another $2. Margarita episode of Phase Hero. The fans have spoken. Listen, Brandon? BD said a couple weeks ago we should start a like alcohol tie-in or like a drink kit or something. So like maybe we'll make that happen. Like a margarita pitcher. That would be wild.
Oh my gosh. Sponsor. Listen, Margaritaville, we would come do an episode live and then we would cut those cameras because I don't know what I'll say. Absolutely have no idea, but we would do it.
We would. I feel like they would also let us with a little bit of asking. So who knows? All right. I'm going to stop the show there because otherwise I'm going to just make Marg Tower jokes because of Aaron and I's favorite video. If you haven't watched the My Weekend as a 28-year-old in Chicago video that goes around on Twitter and TikTok every so often, do yourself a favor and change that. But yeah, Aaron, is there anything else you would like to leave the listeners and viewers with today?
Oh goodness. At How to Watch Free TV, we had Jamie Jirac. If you're missing Jamie, she was out here talking about twin movies because It Takes Two is free on YouTube, and we were having a blast. She got to talk about Nick Cage. She got to talk about 2 Cloris Leachmans. She was in heaven. I'm happy that she got to hang out. Also in the theater this weekend is freaking GOAT, which I did the review for a hashtag show, and they gave me this like cool little ball, and I was like, I'm down for that. I got to go to Intuit Dome, so that's on Instagram. And yeah, just excited. Thank you, BD.
Yeah, the chat was enjoying this duo format, so thank you guys so much. I was stressed going into this. We haven't done a show with like this few people in a very long time, so I was very curious how this was gonna go, but this was fun. But yeah, I am at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics. I was gonna put this in the rundown, but then like obviously things got shuffled around. The entire Absolute line is getting reprinted. Every single issue that has ever come out in the past year and a half is getting reprinted. Absolute Batman #1 is going to be on its 11th printing, which is crazy to say out loud. So if you are behind on that universe and you don't have DC Universe Infinite or any like feasible way, it is in so many different formats. It's on digital, it's in trade paperbacks, but like all of the single issues will be in your comic shop sooner than later. And a lot of them are already there. So like go check it out. That universe is incredible. It's so great. And go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. As I mentioned, I have videos about Krypto, about the Clayface date, put out 3 videos in 3 business days and have been very tired and kind of taking a break to kind of make up for that. But please go subscribe. It would mean a lot. And thank you all so much for listening to the show. Thank you to BD for managing this from AEW. We appreciate it so much. And play this for your dad, play it for your cat, and we will see you on the next one. Bye. Let's see if he can hear us.
Let's see.
There we go.
Oh, well.